Hey everybody, what's up? It's Nick Lydorf. How are you doing? I've taken a little break for some mental health reasons because it turns out doing a Facebook Live video for 93 days will mess with your old the old brain. So I needed to take a little break from that, but I wanted to thank you for coming back and joining with me here tonight because I got a very good friend of mine and a hilarious comedian, Kristen Toomey from Chicago. She is super funny, and I wanted to introduce you to her, and she's going to chat with us. And then at the end, she agreed to watch a Sovereign Citizen video with me, and we'll watch that and react to it. So without further ado, let's welcome Kristen Toomey. Kristen, hello. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. Doing really well. I'm glad that you, thanks for joining me virtually.
This is fun.
Yeah.
This is a nice platform for streaming, restream.
Right. Yeah. Restream. They don't throw us any sponsorship money, but yeah, maybe they should. It is pretty cool. I do like using Restream. So I haven't seen you in a while, and I remember I met you at, I think, Sellerman's in Hamtramck. I think that's where that's at. And we did a show with, I got added late. I think it was you and Tim Northern did a show, and I got to see you there for the first time. And I was just like, wow, he's super funny. And just blown away by your stage presence, like just how you just commanded the entire thing. And I was just, from start to finish, I was just blown away by it because I envy that confidence. And then like, I got to talk to this person, and we, had a great conversation. And I don't think we watched Tim Northern's set because we were talking, but then we talked to Tim afterwards. But yeah, I just remember that was that first, we talked and
yeah, dude, I remember that as just like laughing with you. That I don't even remember the show, but I remember you and I sitting outside and just like cackling.
Right.
It was like hot, and we were just sweating and laughing. That's all I remember.
Yeah, it was in the summertime, I think. Yeah, and it was in Detroit in the summer, which is it's pretty hot here. It's super humid.
But yeah, that was great. And I thought, we've worked together a few times. You're a very funny guy. Thanks. And very nice guy.
Thanks.
And I like you a lot.
Thanks.
I like your show you're doing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I had this goal, which, I talked to you a little bit about it, which is I was going to do 365 videos, one for each day. And that was a stupid idea. It was incredibly dumb. I set these really ridiculous goals, and I got a quarter of it in, but I guess that's something. I guess you shoot for the moon or whatever that saying is. I'm not sure what it is. But
well, you know what? I enjoyed your show and your stream and the idea that's a lofty goal, but at least you're setting goals. I don't even set goals. Burnt out. So
yeah. So tell me what you've been up to, and like, what you've been doing. I mean, we've all been going through this for over a year now, and
Well, I was working in a nursing home during the pandemic. They had like an outbreak, and I was working on a COVID unit.
Oh, wow.
It was like terrifying. November and December was really scary.
Oh, geez, yeah.
But like, you know what? And I found an old notebook where like one of my fears was like a pandemic.
Wow.
That I wrote in like 2008.
Wow.
And I wrote it down. And so I feel like that's pretty cool that I did that. But at the time, it was terrifying. It really was scary. But I got, I like working with the elderly, and that was cool. They're nice, they're smart, and they're funny. And I think I needed to do something that was like, with comedy, I think you get kind of, I don't know. It's kind of seems like it's important, but it seems more important than it is. And so I think I needed like something that was like, no, these people, this is like the end of their very long life.
Yeah.
This is sort of.
Yeah. So what was that like being in a unit like that in a nursing home where, how were these people talking about? Were they scared? Would they talk to you about their fears, or what was that like being in something like that? Because that's a really high risk, population.
Yeah. I think they were scared. They are scared. And they're, I think out of everyone who's like, we're all having a tough time dealing with this, but nobody's paying more than that population during this time, in my experience. No one. They're completely locked in their room, 24 hours a day. So,
even prisoners get to go out 1 hour a day, Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, they're also at the most risk, and they don't get to see their families right now. I mean, some of them do, depending on they really paid the highest cost. I would say that this, and their families, like this has been horrific for them. Mm-hmm. And, I always like to talk about the worst stuff when I'm
no, that's life, right? I mean, and, I think you touched on something too, which is, when you're in comedy and you're like, this like constant, need to be doing shows and stuff, and you kind of lose the need for like having these other experiences, right? And because like you'll see comics sometimes, like a lot of their jokes are like, well, I was doing a show the other day and this and that, and that's, but it's like their life is just like show after show after show after show, and they're not living outside of this bubble of comedy.
Yeah, it's like traveling is a lot of the conversation, because that's what your experience is, shows or dinners or something like that. But there is, yeah.
So how did you start? Like, what was your, this is something you always wanted to do, was stand up, or?
I wanted to be an actress, like when I was little, a kid. Mm-hmm. And then I wanted to do improv and like SNL, and I went to Second City, and then I started doing stand up. Like my friends kind of pushed me into it, or were suggesting it. And then I tried it, and I really liked it. And I mean, then I took some time off, on and off, but that was in 08. So are you from Chicago originally, or did you move there? Outside of Chicago.
Okay. I don't know a lot about improv, so I'm always kind of wanted to know what people's experiences were with that. Did you do that a lot, or what was your?
I liked it. I think at Second City, at least, and this might be true for all of comedy, but like, it felt like, during those A through E improv classes, it felt like Lorne Michaels was going to be walking around that corner any minute at Second City and just like scoop you up. That was like how I felt about it. I thought this is it. This is the place. And I loved it. I wanted to be really good at it. I wanted to take it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got pregnant with my son. And when I had him, I started doing stand-up like 6 weeks later. And I just turned my focus on that. And I was doing some small acting parts in like my friends' projects, things like that.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of became like obsessed with stand-up and performing that.
Yeah. I never, like, I grew up in the middle of nowhere, and like I don't know how I ended up doing stand up, but I remember watching Saturday Night Live and I was like, oh my God, this is like what I wanted to do. And like, but I never knew how to get to that like, how do you get from there to there? Because I didn't know anybody. And like, I mean, everyone I grew up on was like a farmer. So it's like, like, I knew how to, like, if I wanted to know how to raise cattle, I could go talk to somebody, but I didn't have that kind of so how did, growing up and living in around Chicago, that had to be like, if stuff is just there, like accessible, you could go do that.
Yeah. I remember I saw Evita at Piper's Alley when it came out, the premiere, which Piper's Alley, like Second City is in Piper's Alley. It's a building called Piper's Alley in Chicago. And Chris Farley was actually at the premiere in the theater.
Oh my God.
And I walked right by him when I was leaving the theater. And he was with this tall, like beautiful woman. And I just was like, I just couldn't believe like that I lived that close to that place at that time. That was like a really big deal to me, That's
wild.
Yeah. But I used to, when I had my first car was a Ford Probe, an 89 Ford Probe. And I would drive downtown and drive by there. And yeah,
that's cool.
I thought, like Bill Murray, all of those people, I was kind of like, enamored by the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. And Bill Murray's a Chicago guy, right?
Sorry?
Is he from Chicago originally?
Yeah, he's from, I think it's Winnetka or one of those up north.
Okay. Yeah. So what was your, like, so it sounds like when you watched Saturday Night Live, was that what got you? Like, who was your kind of people you looked up to, and
well,
I want to be like that person?
I mean, Molly Shannon, so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, there really isn't. There's no cast member that I can think of that's like, ugh. They're all great. That's how they're there, first of all. And so, who I met? I met Keenan.
Oh, wow.
Like a year or 2 years ago. And he was just the sweetest, most patient man. And he stood there and he took a picture with like 300 people. Wow. And he was so nice. And I was just really impressed by him. And just like he was just very lovable, I thought.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
But but growing up, I think I was, Mike Myers was really sort of his era, Chris Farley.
Yeah.
All of them,
Yeah.
And then Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
So I remember when I used to watch the show, I would get nervous if I felt like the host was kind of weak. Like if the host, you know what I mean? I would get like anxious that this is not going to go well. And then if Will Ferrell would show up in the sketch, I would like calm down. I remember being like, I don't know, I must have been a teenager and been like, oh, this is not going to go well. And then if he would show up in the sketch, I could actually like enjoy it more because I was like, there's no way it's going to go bad.
Yeah. He was, I loved that. I liked some of those same people too, like the Mike Myers. And then as it moved on to like the Will Ferrell era, like the cowbell sketch. I mean, but even like the one that gets me the most is the one where in the hot tub with Rachel Dratch.
I was just gonna say that one.
Oh my god, it's so hilarious.
The lover.
My love, we filled our bellies with goat meat, and it's hysterical, yeah, and just watching all that. But yeah, I as an empath, I think I feel that like I get tight during the monologue when it's not going well,
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to watch some of the people that don't have any kind of experience with that. It's interesting to see that.
You're frozen right now, but I can hear you.
Oh, weird. Okay.
So maybe it'll stop or start.
Well, I can see you. I can see and hear you, so I think we're all right.
Okay, good. I would always get. Yeah, I would watch that, and I would get so. I would get anxious. It's like watching someone. Well, I don't feel that way with stand-up, I guess. When I'm watching someone bomb, I'm trying to think. When I'm watching someone bomb during stand-up, it's kind of like, oof, but it's also because I've done it myself so many times. Right. And like, I know that they're going to be fine. And it's sort of like you sign up for that. So it only does make you better. So when it's stand-up, I guess it's like, all right. And it's sort of funny.
Yeah.
Like you can laugh along with them because they're going to go like, oh, that was so bad. They know, everyone knows when it's stand-up. I guess everyone knows. So then it's funny.
Yeah, we're all in on it. Yeah.
Right. I don't know. It's just different.
So, and you mentioned you acted in some of your friends' productions and things like that. Yeah. And like you were on TV, weren't you? I looked at your IMDb and weren't you on something?
Yes. On Chicago Med. I have ants all over my apartment. I have to kill them really quick. Sorry. I've been trying to kill them. Okay. Yes, I was on TV.
Yeah, that's so cool. What was that like? Like getting like, learning that was going to happen. Like, what was that like?
That was cool. I thought that was
cool. Yeah, it's just my dream when I set out to do this. I wanted to act. And like, that's fine.
Well, to be honest, okay, when I went into audition, I hate auditioning. I'm so bad at it. It makes me cringe.
Why?
And I think it's like the same thing like with painting. Like I said, like if you told me to paint an apple, like I wouldn't be able to do it.
Okay.
But if I'm drawing and an apple shows up, you know what I mean?
Sure. So when you're expected to do it now, like that gives you, is that maybe the same thing?
I don't know. I'm not good at that.
Okay. So when you audition for something like that,
which I think that's called talent.
So when you have to audition for something like that, are you reading for that part kind of a thing? I'm guessing, right?
Yes, I had to go in there and read for it. Honestly, that's what I mean. I cannot even believe I did that.
Yeah. Like
right now, if you asked me to do that right now, I wouldn't be able to do it. So
that just blows my mind to like have to go in there and it's like, okay, I have to act now. Like, cause I've done like some acting, but it was like, we want you to be this lawyer. So it's like, oh, okay, I got this. I can do this, I think. But I didn't have to really act outside of anything that I haven't done before. But like, they're like, okay, we need you to be here like at 4:00 tomorrow, and you're gonna have to be this person.
Yeah, well, and the experience on the set was good. Like, it was cool. You get a trailer, and then they put you.
Nice.
You get to go and say.
I grew up in a trailer, so that you get one.
You're going home.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, I liked it. it was a fun experience. I thought it went better. Like I did better than I expected myself to.
You got it.
I still don't want to. No, I mean like watching the episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've watched it like this.
Right.
Once, but, and anyway.
It's weird that you say that because like, you watch, like being around, stand-up people and creatives, like there's not many people that really love watching themselves, like I was like, oh, I don't want to watch that. But like you always meet, there's like I've met like one person that's like, oh yeah, I watch it all the time. And like, it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of different. I've never really encountered something like that. But,
yeah. You know what? I can watch, here's the thing. Since I haven't been doing stand-up, I can watch like a short clip of me on mute.
You're working back into it? Yeah, nice.
100%. And it's actually funnier.
Nice. You're working way up to maybe the sound will be on, but it's really soft, so you have to like listen in. And then maybe full volume at some point.
But, like make up your own words. Just
yeah. So let's see. What part of like how does stand up? How does improv that kind of help you with stand up? How does that help you?
Well,
basically, I'm looking for an excuse to start improv. That's basically what I'm looking.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Here's a fresh example. Wait, I forgot what were we gonna say?
We were talking about improv and what, if any, how does that help you with stand up and
Yeah. Okay. So maybe that's not a good example. I don't know. I never wrote anything down. So I think the improv training gave me like the confidence to get up on stage. It kind of helped because I was, I still can feel very shy and depending on the mood or the situation. And I think that I wouldn't have been able to like do stand up without the improv, and it is good to like, stand up, you're up there by yourself. Like with improv, you have other people around you. It's sort of like training wheels in a way.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, so
they hold you up? Is that how I've never done improv? They hold you up kind of a thing? Yeah.
I was like, all right.
It's one of those marionette kind of things where, never.
They, and with the material though, I don't write it down because I can't read and I can't write.
Oh no.
So the improv really helped because I was like, oh, I thought I had to do something. And, no, but it helps you because it helps. Yeah.
So it sounds like it helped you get rid of like maybe those inhibitions and, of like, oh, people are watching me.
Also, it's like you see like, oh, well, if this guy's fucking doing it.
Right.
I think that's really what it's all about.
Yeah. So how do you, like, what's the ladder in something like improv? How does that work? So you did Second City, right? Is that? Yeah.
And then, you audition for the conservatory level, which I didn't get.
Okay.
So that's where it stopped.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry. But what's that? I mean, how many people are they taking for that? I mean, like, what's the?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You mentioned the classes, so it's like A through E kind of a thing?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds like Scientology. Is it like Scientology?
Yeah, it's like a pre.
All right. A lot of talk about thetans and all stuff. Interesting.
Yep. I'm not saying anything else about that.
All right. So then you acted, and then people wanted you to do stand up, and then you kind of got into that. What was your first what was your first experience doing stand up?
I got really drunk. And then so it's a little fuzzy, but I remember it went well. But then the second time was horrible, which is what everybody else wants. Like you don't want to talk about the good time.
Yeah.
Second time it was brutal. I was supposed to do like 7 minutes, and I thought I had 7 minutes of material.
Yeah.
And whatever I wrote on my hand, ideas to talk about, and I ran through it in like 90 seconds. And then I was like, I got off, and my best friend was with me, and she like had a shot of tequila, and she was just like, dude.
She bought you a shot.
Can't believe you made me watch that.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it was bad.
So what made you do it a third time?
That's a good question. I
don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it was like the first time that it went well, probably like kept me.
Yep. I had the same experience. Like the first time I did it, it was like, wow, like this is cool. Like I had never done anything like that. I was so inhibited about like speaking in public like that, but it's something I always wanted to do, and it went like pretty well. But I was wearing shorts because I didn't know anybody, So, but then like the second time was like, ooh, this is bad. This was really bad, and actually, like Robert Jenkins and I did.
Have you ever, real quick, ever been up there and you just completely blank? Like,
yes.
Where
like
you
just
don't
one time.
Think of a word. Nothing's gonna come out.
Oh no. I haven't done that. That's not happened. But I forgot my joke. Like I thought of like getting that place where I had forgotten what I was talking about.
No, and, I had it where like it was like I got like conked on the head, and it was
yeah. That's my nightmare. That's
everyone's nightmare. I had that happen.
I thought you were going to say, like, I thought this was like an encouraging thing where you're going to be like, that's not ever happened. No. And then it's actually happened to you. So.
No, I'm here to say your fear is real.
Yeah, now that's going to haunt my nightmares now. Like, I was like, that's never going to happen. Don't worry about it. And then you're just yeah, totally.
It does.
A real possibility. Yeah.
You
never know. You never know what's going to happen.
I had to do like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was in a strip mall in Aurora. And I was about 15 minutes in, and it was going well. And or what I thought was well. And then all of a sudden I looked to the back of the room, and it was so dark. And I just like, I could not think of anything to say. All of a sudden, it's just like that wave of like just panic and sweat, and everyone's staring at me, and I was just like, it felt like the rest of my set was just me staring into a void.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I said to recover from that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay. When I got off and finished that, I thought, well, that's about like the worst thing that could happen to you while you're up there, aside from somebody like assaulting you, which has almost already happened.
Oh no.
That was actually, I've actually had that happen, and that was way better than not having anything to say.
No. Oh no. So we got to talk about that. What happened?
I had like this.
Oh, if you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to. But like, okay.
No, I don't mind. Okay. I've just had men, and women too.
Oh my God.
Say things like, this bitch ain't funny or whatever.
Oh,
and,
Jesus.
Things like that.
They say that to me too. So
right, right. Of course they do. No, that's what I mean. I don't care. That doesn't bother me at all. What bothers me is if I can't think of something to say to them.
Yeah.
Obviously, that would bother me.
Yeah.
But yeah, running out of things to say, it's terrible.
But has anyone tried to like physically assault you?
Oh, not like.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, intimidate or come up and get in my face. That's happened.
Okay. Oh, geez, like, really?
Yeah.
Like on stage?
Yeah. At the drop in
in South Bend?
Yeah.
Really?
There was a big group of bikers, and I mean, I've told this story before, but not to you and to whoever's watching, probably.
Yeah.
If anyone's watching.
Well, we're watching.
We're watching.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, he was like this bitch.
Was a guy?
Yeah, his name was Big Al. He was
Big Al,
Little Al or something. He was a big fat guy, and his name was Little Al. That was the funny part.
Oh, that's the funny part.
Little.
Wow. So, next level comedy genius.
Yeah. And he's telling me this bitch seemed funny 3 minutes into my set.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah. And then so we got into it. Then his whole table got into it. And then this other guy that was with them got up. He was older and he got in my face. And I was just like, get the fuck out of here. Really?
Oh my God.
What are you doing? And no one from the club bounced them or whatever, but they ended up leaving. Thank God. Yeah. And I think, that happens, that happens a lot, but no one's ever hit me or anything.
Well, that's good. Jeez. That's enough. Good Lord.
No,
that's
fine.
Wow. Yeah, that's so what was like your favorite stand-up show that you've ever been a part of? Like you were like, oh man, I wish every show could be like this.
Like whatever set went well.
Really? Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, I would say there wasn't like yeah, I mean, it doesn't. That's the great thing. You can be at a bowling alley in Wisconsin, and if it's like you're crushing, it does not fucking matter, really.
Right.
Like if the feeling is great.
Mm-hmm. Like
if you're really connecting with people and making them laugh, then it doesn't matter if you're.
Yeah,
I'm sure it would help if there was like a lot of money attached to it. Like crush another ant on my counter.
Right. Or like you get paid in like free games of bowling and stuff like that.
Right.
Is there a place that you've done stand up that you're like, oh man, I love doing that. I want to go back there and do it again?
Well, the Chicago Theater is a beautiful place that I got to go on the stage and do like a little 8 minutes or something.
Nice.
That was great.
Who'd you get to do? Did you open for somebody? For
the Impractical Joker tour.
Oh my God. We were just watching Impractical Jokers upstairs. What my son loves that is he's turning 9 next week. And I don't know if we should let him watch that, but whatever. We just let him watch. It's kind of inappropriate, but he loves that show. That's his. Yeah.
I've never seen the show.
You have?
No.
Oh wow.
But
was that cool getting because you don't know who they are, so it was just kind of like.
Well, I've met them now.
Okay.
And they were all very nice, and I knew the reason I got it was because I know Kyle Kinane, and he's from here where I'm from.
Yeah.
And I had just done a show with him like the week before. So he was like, hey, do you want to just come and open? And he called me like an hour or something before, and I happened to be off that night. So it was
awesome.
Yeah. But
that sounds like the perfect day. Like, oh, I just got a call from Kyle Kinane, and then he's like, "Hey, you want to come do a show?" And then like you open for Impractical Jokers at Chicago Theater.
Right. He was like, "Do you want to do a set tonight?" And I was like, he texted me, and I was like, "Yeah, where?" And he was like, "The Chicago Theater." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, I got to work with Kyle Kinane one time, and it was just like it was super cool. Like, cause I mean, from a writing perspective, I was like, wow, this guy is like, next level, and he was super cool to hang out with, and yeah,
his whole family. His mom's great too. I met his mom.
Oh, cool.
And she's hilarious. All of his jokes about her seem to be true. Yeah. And so I had already had some prior knowledge of what to expect, and she's great. And he's very kind and very funny. And he's such a big influence on Chicago comics, I would say. And I don't know if he gets like that recognition or not, but there's like, I think, a class of comedians that when I was like, would be like local headliners when I was starting that are influenced by him. And
yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because when I was talking with Kyle, like, he said he was really influenced by Dwayne Kennedy, and Dwayne's going to do my show next week. And
I love
like,
Dwayne.
Yeah, I met him one time, and he was in, we did a show in West Michigan at Black River Tavern or wherever it was. But like, I didn't know anything about him, and I just went up, and it was like, okay, this is a pretty cool show. And then he comes up with this glass of wine, and like, he's just talking, and it was just like, I was just mesmerized by this guy. And like, he didn't care if it was funny or not. And most of the time it was super funny, but he was just having a conversation with these people that are totally not like him. And he won over the room. And it was just like, wow, this is like next level, being able to communicate. And it was cool.
I opened for him, I think, in Oswego at like the Laughing Tap. And I was probably 3 years in or something. And it was like a big deal for me to open for him. And he had the wine up there. Yeah. And he was like probably one of the first like people I opened for where I was like, whoa, this guy is great. Yeah. And he crushed. He crushed so hard. And he was very kind.
Yeah.
And like gave good advice, but without being an asshole about it.
Right. Yeah, that's what it's just super cool. Mm-hmm. It's really cool. Like, there's people like that are really great, and then also like are helpful, and because
like Eric Huff seems like that. I watched the episode with him that you had, and afterwards I watched some of his videos that he mentioned, and I know Rena Calm talks about Stewart a lot as being like an inspiration and mentor to her in that way. And he seems like that too.
Yeah, he's definitely a huge inspiration and mentor for me. Like, really encouraged me to like push limits and do different things, and so that's cool to be able to work with people like that. Yeah, and hopefully be able to work with people again, at some point. So yeah, I mean, you mentioned something that resonated with me, because I was doing the same thing, as using this time to build a life of what's going to happen when it does open back up. So do you want to do stand-up again, or because I've talked to some people who are like, I don't know, I don't even really want to do it anymore. But what's your thought about it?
I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know, because I don't know. I feel like I do love it, and I love watching it. I like going to watch it. I like watching it at home. And I will say I've had some pretty, like we all have, some pretty dark days recently. And like one of the things that really got me moving or like alive feeling was like watching Cat Williams talk about swamp people. It was like I didn't realize like how much laughter is so important, and it really is. Like it could save your life to be able to laugh at certain things. And it sort of does cut through bullshit in a way, and ego too, and just it's like healing. And I know that sounds corny or whatever, but it's true. Like
it's true.
Need it. And so to be able to do that, I think I took that privilege for granted in a lot of ways, but I think I also put it, I wasn't prioritizing things correctly. And I wasn't, I'm trying to figure out, I guess, like the respect that it needs. And if I can give it that.
Yeah, I can definitely.
Without being pretentious and without being a dick.
I definitely understand that, because it's, with coming from a guy that set a goal to do 365 live videos, I get consumed by the pursuit of it. And then I end up leaving out the important part of life, which is, the people that are upstairs in my house right now. And it's hard because, you find something that you really love to do, and then I get way too into it, and it ends up, being out of whack and out of balance. And I know this has been a time to kind of reset for me. And even like professionally too, like, I don't want to go to court anymore. I don't want to fight with other lawyers. I don't want to do that kind of stuff. And I kind of use this time to kind of reset that part of my life. And then what's going to happen when you can do shows again? And I don't know, but yeah, I think we need to use this time. And it sounds like you've been using that to find out what you really find to be important, I guess. Yeah. And I do think that it is important. I'm not trying to be like, I think that it is important. Yeah. But you just kind of have to figure out how important it is to you and what you're willing to, and why. Right. Yeah. What's your why? Everyone always asks you that when you're trying to start something, like start any kind of adventure or, business thing. Like, what's your why? It's an interesting thing. Like, why really? Is that a thing? Yeah, that is a thing. Yeah. I didn't know that. And I didn't know. I never thought about my why until probably too late, I think. Because I don't think my why, I don't know. I still probably don't. I don't know. I don't know about my why yet. Well, it's interesting that you said that, in like talking about how you can be crushing at a bowling alley in Wisconsin, but it's cool because like the idea of comedy and stand-up is like, it's just like anyone can participate in it, and like you can tap into it, and you can do it anywhere. You can do it in, the COVID ward of, talking to people in nursing homes, trying to brighten their day. It doesn't necessarily have to be in this, comedy club, thing, and doing it for the end game of having someone watch you to be able to come back and, headline next time. I have a question for you. Yeah. Is your end game for comedy? What's my end game? Ooh, this is good. Wow. Way to turn the tables to me. So I want to, I just want to produce something that, like, I want to have an hour that I did it and I recorded it and I can look back on it and say, like, I'm super proud of that. Like, because it was a lot of work and a lot of, like, creatively, I thought it was good. And also me performing it was good because, that's the one thing I'm not as great as. I think I have to try and, you know, at least right now, I have to compensate more for like the writing part of it than the performing part of it. So I want to be able to say, like, wow, I really sold this hour. It was great. And at the same time, it was really good. And it's something I would be proud of, to, like, people comfortable, people watching it. And then, but before, I was always wrapped up in, like, oh, I want people to, I don't want people to like me. And as I've gotten older, like, I don't care so much about that.
I know that, you know what though? I think that is why a lot of us do it. And it's like, what's crazy to me now is, like, I care about that so much, but, like, with the wrong people, because I was so worried about strangers in a bowling alley in Wisconsin liking me that I was like, oh, but my kids fucking hate me right now. You know? Yeah. And it's like, what are you doing? Hey. And so, you know, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
wow. Yeah. That's real. I mean, that's
hey. Sorry.
Yeah. No, when that's a good good way to check in with yourself.
Yeah.
The dog is pissed. It's like, no, it's about the art.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's good that you have a goal like that. And, you know, that's something that you want to complete. It's like, that's your masterpiece or your goal and what you're focused on. But just, you know, just make sure, like, it balances out.
Yeah. Well, that's a great piece of advice. And probably, if I was looking at it from a psychological perspective, that goal is unachievable because I cannot, you know, I'm always not going to be satisfied with it. So I have to figure out a way to construct that goal and put it in such a way that it is achievable. Because if it isn't, it's just my personality. I get really restless and I want, you know, I'm just always doing. I get that from my mom. My mom is always kind of like, you know, always has to go. And then you're kind of, I don't appreciate, you know, the steps along the way, that, like, the stuff that I have done. And then it's just like, what's next? And then I don't think that's healthy.
Here's the thing. It's like, you also end up resenting those people that you wanted to like you.
Yeah.
You know, even if they did like you, it's like, oh, now you like me. Well, you know what I just fucking did to get you to like me?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. And they're like, well, didn't you want us? Like, what do you want? And you're like, I don't fucking know. I'm just mad. You know? It's like,
yeah. That's true.
Fault, but then it's like, yeah. I mean, like, the whole trap of, like, wanting the approval of others is I mean, it's so counterproductive. And but I fell into it for, like, a long time. And, you know, as I'm getting older, I, like, don't give a fuck what other people are thinking of me, less and less, you know, and caring about the people that it does matter, which, you know, like family and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it can, for me, I've looked at it, and you said it really well, which is, I think you said something about you didn't maybe appreciate what you were doing, be able to do, until we don't have it anymore. You know, but then I was all wrapped up in, like, what
I wasn't getting, and instead of like focusing on like, wow, I get to do this tonight, and and not worrying about the shows that you don't get, or like the the game of like, what do I need to do to convince this booker to book me, kind of a thing,
Yeah, and you know what, I hate that so much, like not being able to be happy for other people. I think is like a real indication of like that whatever you're pursuing is also not going to make you, like, if you can't even, you know what I mean? I think that's related. If you're like, if you are just that bitter, like, here's the thing. If you can't celebrate somebody else getting something that you would like you're not going to be able to do that for yourself if you get it.
Exactly. Yep. It'll just be one another. You'll just move right on to the next thing. And,
So I would like to see people be a little more like, I don't know, maybe not so. I don't even think it's competitive. It's like, I'm not really sure what the word is, what that is in comics, but.
Yeah, it's just that like, oh, how did so-and-so get that? They're like, why did they get that and I didn't get that?
Just,
that kind of
always that though. You know what I mean? It's just I got like, I get real sick of that. I mean, it's fun to, I guess, hear somebody bitch if you're going to, be funny about it.
Right. Right.
Yeah, just like the moaning about like, oh, well, it's just like, shut up.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do with that either. I'm just like, get out of here. Like, you didn't get it.
Right.
You didn't get it. And neither did I. So let's just go get coffee. Look at birds.
Right.
You didn't get it. Okay.
So do you, would you like to indulge me and you want to watch a Sovereign Citizen video?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I have not watched this one, but let me preface this. So this is from Judge Jeffrey Middleton. He's actually in St. Joseph County down in here in Michigan. Well, down in whatever, we're up wherever you're at, down, who knows. And so this is Judge Middleton. He's got this rocking this super great hair.
Pose.
Yeah. So this is what we call a Moorish sovereign citizen. So as I'm getting into the more and more, it's like I'm like a curator of fine wines. So there's different kinds of sovereign citizens. And the Moorish sovereign citizens believe that we are living in Morocco right now instead of the United States, which
notes, baby.
Ooh, lefty too. Nice.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. So we're going to play this.
Ready.
All right. And if you have something you want to just yell at me and I'll stop it and we can go into it.
Okay.
But okay.
Get it.
All right.
Good, sir. I'll call you by your preferred name, Mr. Morrow Bay. This is Judge Middleton. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can.
All right. We're waiting just a bit for the prosecutor to log in.
Super boring so far.
He was with us just a bit.
I like that there's a lady just in the lower left.
Yeah, what is she doing?
I don't know.
And the judge, he can't have that hair as a judge.
Cannot. His wife should not let him leave the house. Like, Jeffrey, we're going to cut your hair after work.
Come on, Jeff. And who is this down here, this lady?
I don't know. She has I can already tell she looks like she has a very expressive face. So I'm interested. I'm glad that we have an audience for whatever's going to happen.
I feel like my lighting is weird. It's getting
yours?
Weird.
Oh, yeah. I just got to click back and it's like you have the Jim Morrison sunglasses on. And they're like, what's going on?
The next time you click back to me, I'm going to have a disco ball in there.
All right. Well, let's see what's
I'm
happening
melting heroin right now. Picking up some rocks. Go ahead, hit it.
A bit ago. I should be right back.
Okay.
Mr. Perdue, we are live, well, even though we're not doing anything here. We're live on YouTube and live on the Zoom platform. As soon as Casey Johnson from Prosecutor comes in, we'll conduct our business.
That's not my name.
Oh.
Well, I know you're known to the Secretary of State by your birth name, but you prefer to be known as Samir Siraj Marl Bey. And
I'm a national of the land.
I understand.
Was it what? He said he's a national of Atlanta, I think. I didn't know that was a nation, but
What?
I don't know. I'm so fascinated by these people.
Dude, I'm gonna have a full-on panic attack by the end of this. I feel it, have it. Okay, go.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my nationality. But I thought, did you take an oath to this?
Did
To
I?
uphold the Constitution? Yeah, to uphold the Constitution
Oh, yes.
and the treaties.
I don't know about treaties. Those are federal. This
Look
is
at the lady
state
at the
law.
left, lower
I
left.
know. I shouldn't even be here. I should be somewhere federal. I should be in a federal courtroom, and you still haven't provided any delegation of authority order.
Well, wait a minute till the prosecutor gets here and you can go through. You've said this stuff on each previous case.
I know, and I'm still waiting for my delegation of authority order. I'm still waiting. I never got it in the mail.
So just so you know, Kristen, delegation of authority order is complete bullshit. It doesn't exist. And it's not a real thing. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
That's Article 3, Section 2. You took an oath to this. You know it.
Awkward.
Yeah.
And then the lady is just to the lower left.
I shouldn't
Well-
even be here.
I'm spitting.
You could fix that.
What?
You could stop driving a damn car and then you wouldn't keep coming here and you wouldn't have to deal with me and I wouldn't have to deal with you.
Oh my god, that's great. He did the like a little trumpet.
You could knock it off.
You could stop doing that, you
Yeah.
whippersnapper. Good Lord. That's hilarious. First off, the judge isn't supposed to be talking with him because without the prosecutor present, because that's what we call ex parte communication, which is Latin for you're not supposed to do that. I don't know. I know what it means, but it's Latin. I didn't take Latin. But I love that the judge is just given to this guy.
Yeah. Well, he's doing it. He knows he's on YouTube.
Oh yeah, he's playing to his audience. Yeah, he's got.
Like, this is gonna get me some clicks. When I do this, the crowd goes crazy.
Judge Jeff. He's lining up his court show. Now that Judge Judy's retired, there's a vacancy, and Judge Jeff is. Did you know how much? I gotta ask you this. So, did you know how much Judge Judy was making per year?
No.
Take a guess.
How many shows?
How many shows? I don't know how many she was doing in a year, but I think she was doing a lot. I think she was
5 million.
way off. $50 million a year.
You're kidding. That's gonna make me feel sick.
Yes, she was the highest paid personality on TV, and she was like that she started to beat Oprah like years ago, and I just never knew any of this. And she's got this empire, like she's so rich, and she just decided that she didn't want to do it anymore. So yeah, so Judge Jeff is lining up to
ready.
take over the throne. Let's see what happens.
Which
But a
make
driver,
both of us.
but isn't driving a commercial terminology?
No.
No.
It's
In
not.
your universe. In your universe, maybe it is, but in this one, it's covered by Michigan Motor Vehicle Code.
So what about Black's Law Dictionary?
Oh.
Does that not
Well, as
count?
far as I know, that doesn't control Michigan traffic legislation.
And as far as I know, you can't make up rules to undermine the Constitution. And no matter what rules or codes you make up, it doesn't supersede the law.
Here comes Mr. Johnson. I
Oh,
don't
here we
disagree
go.
with that.
Oh.
One of us keeps making up rules, but I don't think it's me.
Oh, damn.
I mean,
Mr.
I'm
Johnson?
pretty sure it is.
Oh, snap.
All right, well, let me call the case. This is
Great
file
beard on Casey Johnson.
213ST.
Look
The
at that.
actual title on the
That's
ticket
awesome.
is People versus Samuel Rufus Perdue. The
Looks like a lumberjack. Look at that beard. I can't grow a beard like that. I'm legit envious that is thick. That would be like a huge, if you let that thing grow, that's impressive. Casey Johnson. Yeah.
The defendant is here. He prefers to be known as Samir Siraj Maro Bey. I don't think he ever lawfully changed his name, but he goes by that name, and he has every time he's been here. He's charged once again with driving suspended second offense. It's alleged that on or about January 31st, he was operating a vehicle here in St. Joseph County while his license was suspended. He also got a ticket for speeding, so he tends to go too fast, always doesn't have insurance, and he doesn't have a license. He has 2 previous cases already pending. File 202073 is a driving suspended charge from September 17th.
So I think he was
He liked that
holding
one
up.
so much, he got another one on November 25th.
He was holding up some sort of fake license. Let me see just real quick if I can. So that's not a Michigan. Oh, so that's.
I can't.
Okay,
see
so I can't see it, but it looks like that's the Moroccan flag.
Oh.
I'm interested to see like what that actually is, because that's.
So wait,
that's not a Michigan
someone
driver's
talked to me about the Moorish people before, but do you understand? What do you know about that?
So, man, I'm just getting into some of this stuff. A lot of people that watch these videos like know way more than me, but I think it has something to do with way back at the start of hundreds of years ago that the Moorish people I honestly, that's about all I know. That the claimed part of it, or they're part of I don't know. But I saw one guy that was a Moorish citizen that said he was in California and he said that we are living in Morocco, and he said it like we should just all know that, we're in Morocco, right? Like, no, they were in Sacramento, California. But it's I don't know. I don't. It's a.
I have a weird question.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know that you're not in Morocco?
That's a great question. That is a great question, Kristen. And to be honest, I can't prove. Can I prove that I'm not in Morocco? You can't prove so hell. But I might be in Morocco. I thought I was in East Lansing, Michigan, but who knows? But. So I've never seen.
It's a good question, at least.
It is a very good question. Are you taking notes? Please write this down.
Where am I? Is all I have is where am I?
So I gotta look up and find one of this ID, because
where are we?
Where are we?
Judge, excuse me, Judge. Where are we?
Objection. Where are we? Because it's so wild. Because if we can't agree on whether or not we're in Morocco, how are we going to determine if this dude was speeding in St. Joseph County, Michigan? It's what?
I had to kill an ant. It's this.
It's probably a Moroccan citizen. You just killed a Moroccan citizen, Kristen Toomey. Oh man.
Yeah. Do you think that people really went to the moon?
I think so. I don't know.
Well, then you're in Michigan.
Okay. Oh man. All right. I'm intrigued. what's gonna happen to this guy? But I love Casey. I'm in love with Casey Johnson's beard. I am envious, and I still don't know what Melissa Halleck is doing up in the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah, I don't know. Just making me nervous with her.
She's looking away. Does she have two screens and she's looking at something else? I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I think she's she's ready to say something. She must be like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Tune in and find out.
Here we go.
He has two previous cases already pending. File 202073 is a driving suspended charge from September 17th. He liked that one so much, he got another one on November 25th. I think one or both of those cases he was speeding. That's file 2026653. Mr. Morrow Bay has a different view of the law. He wants to represent himself, which
Good.
I've allowed.
You gotta whistle.
And we had agreed to set those two earlier cases.
Yeah, the judge.
The judge whistles when he says 6 and S's.
Oh man.
It's a whistle.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he's got tens of thousands of YouTube subscribers. He's got to upgrade his setup, I think. If you're gonna be a YouTuber, you gotta
a ring light or something.
Yeah, ring light. And a green screen.
Yeah.
And, yeah. All right. I want to hear what Casey Johnson has to say about this case. Let's see.
This is for jury trial. As we discussed earlier, sir, I can't
represent myself.
Excuse me?
I said, I'm sorry, I can't represent myself.
Oh.
I am who I am.
All right, but you don't wish to have a lawyer, is that correct?
Oh, no, I don't need one.
All right. Well, now you have your third driving suspended charge, and I told you last time, if you did another one of these, I was going to set a bond, but I'm not going to. Let me tell you this right now.
Wait, what?
I'm a traveler, not a driver, for the record.
We're all travelers in this universe. At any rate, you haven't been convicted of anything. You've been accused 3 times, but you do not have lawful authority to drive in Michigan. If you drive again in St. Joe County, I'm going to set a bond. And
why? Come on. So the judge said last time that he was going to give him a bond. Like, what that means, he'd have to post something while the case is out.
Okay.
While the case is still pending. So the guy's done it 3 times now, and he's just out there. He's just, he is out there. But then he's also out there driving.
Yeah.
And Judge Jeff has got to lay down some law here. I mean, you just can't keep committing crimes. I don't know. Is that?
He's not committing a crime, right?
That's true, right? He says he's not. He says he's just. So as you get into this wormhole of sovereign citizens, Kristen, you'll find that the distinction is what you and I think of as driving down a road. Like you did in your '89 Ford Probe to comedy shows, we would think that that's driving, right? But to sovereign citizens, they believe that that's not driving, that's traveling. So, right. Which potato, right? I mean, that's kind of.
Well, that's the question. Does it do the words matter or no?
No. No. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, like I would love to, if this would work, if the sovereign citizen arguments would work, I would adopt these arguments and I would be the best lawyer of all time. And but they don't, and it's just they've been proven wrong like time and time again. Oh, and they continue to like make these arguments, and yeah, it's just wild. But
it's like semantics, like that's the
exactly.
Of it.
Yeah, like another one of their arguments is like they're not who the government says they are, because when the government brings a case against you, they use their name in all caps, and they're not that person who is name is all in caps, if that makes sense.
It's basically saying that things in legal documents are worded in such a way that veils the truth.
That's right. That's one thing. And here's something Sean said too. So like they've the idea is that if you're not participating in commerce, they believe that you don't need to have a driver's license. So the traveling is like you're not participating in commerce. So if you're not participating in commerce, then you don't have to have a driver's license. But if you're driving, then you're in a commercial motor vehicle, you're participating in commerce, and then they believe that, okay, then you should have to have some sort of license. So that's kind of the distinction, but it still doesn't hold up because it just doesn't make sense. But yeah, thanks for that, Sean, making that clarification. So all right, let's see where this goes. We got like 4 minutes left.
You either post it or sit in jail while we await the ability to try your case.
We told them this last time.
Jail for 28 days. But am I understanding once again, sir, you wish to have a jury trial on this matter?
For my national peers.
So we gotta get all these Moroccans.
I'm a national of the land, and you still haven't proven jurisdiction. I challenged jurisdiction a long time ago, and it's never been proven, and I'm still waiting.
All right. I had that discussion with a guy that was in jail once. I said, well, you're in jail. I guess you're in my jurisdiction. Let me tell you this. My jurisdiction is St. Joe County, and stop driving in it.
I don't drive. I'm a traveler by law. And I've already sent you paperwork, and you never responded.
Well, because
Melissa's not having it.
Respond to it. You've got a skewed view of things. If this was this easy, everybody would declare themselves their own country. Everybody could do whatever they wanted to.
There you go.
So the rules only apply to you.
No.
The rest of us suckers are stuck complying with the law. So let's just figure out who the witnesses are, and we'll also set this for a jury. Casey, who have you got for witnesses?
I'm just second judge. I'm sorry.
I mean, you got the police officer. That's probably all you have. That's
I
all
have
you
these
need.
other files open.
Special appearance, only because I have to. Because if I don't be here, you're going to send your criminals to come get me if I'm not here. So I'm only here under threat, duress, and coercion.
Lauren Kaufman's like, what did I come into?
You're sitting in the driver's seat of your car. Now, I'm letting you wear your headgear because I think it's part of your beliefs, so I'm not going to push it. But you're sitting in the damn driver's seat.
Oh!
What's the witnesses?
Jesse Raymond, Your Honor. That's it.
Oh, the police, the so-called police officer who pulled me over is a witness also?
And a certified driving record.
Isn't that a conflict of interest right there?
No, he saw you. He saw you driving.
He work for the court.
He doesn't work for the court. The court's in the judicial branch. He's in the executive branch. Plus, you keep driving too fast. So you're a traveler. You get to travel whatever speed you feel like. You don't have to have insurance, and you can do what you want. All right. Well, anyway, I'm just gonna set this on the jury list with the other two cases. And let me say this again: if you drive again and you get another citation, I'm gonna set a $1,000 cash bond, and you can sit in jail. So my strong advice is to stay out of St. Joseph County.
So you do realize
you're already driving there. So I'm gonna mute your microphone.
Oh.
And I'll set this for a jury trial on a date to be determined. All right, that completes that record.
Convert a liberty into a privilege, license it, and attach a fee to it, right? You do know that, right?
I don't make the law, I just try to apply it. All right, we'll set this for a jury trial the next day.
And your codes are not the law.
Oh, he kicked him out.
That's an argument that has no end. We could, if we live to be 112, we could continue to have this argument. He wants a jury trial, he's entitled to have one, and we'll get there when we can get there.
That'll be fun.
All right.
Jury trial.
Mr. Kaufman, I'll be with you in just a moment.
Yeah.
I don't really know enough. Like, I mean, he could be right. I don't know.
He's not, though. I trust me that I've had when I first was a lawyer, I had someone like I think you could tell like he was an old school like sovereign citizen kind of guy. Like he was older. He'd been talking that 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 line of thinking for a long time. And he saw me at court, and I think he wanted to test me a little bit. And then what ended up happening? Oh, he says he came back on screen. Let's watch the rest of this, and then we can chat just a little bit. So hold on one second. So I guess he comes back. He makes a triumphant return, and we see what Lauren Kaufman's like. Am I next? I don't want to go next.
Yeah.
That's a tough act to follow. Oh, here he is. Oh.
Nope.
Okay.
Mr. Perdue, you're good to go. We'll set this for jury trial with your.
My name is Samir Bey. I thought I already told you that.
At some time, yeah, you told me that. All right, thank you. I'll be in
You don't
touch.
respect the law. You're a criminal.
Oh, he's a criminal. How do you talk about Judge Jeff like that? Wow. Yeah, so watch Van Balion's channel for that, for those videos, because it's he's got some good stuff on there. So this guy saw me at court one time, and he wanted to test me, I think. And so he's like, hey, I want to talk to you about my case. And I was like desperate at the beginning of my career because I needed money. So I'm like, oh yeah, sure, let me try and help you. And it turns out he was just a sovereign citizen. He wanted to waste my time. And that was my first interaction with a sovereign citizen, is like just these arguments. And it was just like, what? It just doesn't make any sense. But then he like wasted like an hour of my time. But it's just this way of thinking, and I don't know how it got started, but and it just continues on, even though there are video after video after video of it just being proven wrong, or like them not winning. And or the one where the one that's the saddest is like watching the people get their windows smashed in. I don't like watching those, like, because it's like sad. Like, you know, the officer's just like, okay, can you just step out of the car? And and they don't. And then, you know, at least from Michigan law perspective, like if an officer gives you a lawful order to step out of the vehicle, and if they're investigating, you know, OWI or like a, you know, traffic infraction or something like that, they can ask you to get out. Sean says, smallest book ever, great sovereign citizen court victories. Yeah, it's a very short list, and the only way that you win is like if you just annoy the judge enough that he'll just like whatever, and then just dismiss the case. But the saddest ones to watch are just like getting the window smashed, because it's like, come on, like just get out of the car. Like, you know, I don't want to have a broken window and they're in jail. Like, that's not cool. I don't want to see that happen to people. But
I feel like I'm getting very white. Like, what is happening to my face?
I don't know. But it's your
no.
Is there where can we find, do you have stand-up clips on YouTube? And where can we find you doing stand-up? Or doing anything? Any kind of clips acting wise, or anything we can watch?
I did an album. It's called Motherfucker, and it's on YouTube. Like, someone put it up there with clips of just the audio, though. Okay.
Wait, did they pirate that? You're not getting paid from that? That sucks.
Yeah.
You should take it down or something, so you can make sure you can get yours.
Yeah. Well, I know, but yeah, I don't even know. I would have to probably go to Jeff, get Jeff involved.
You would love it. You would love, like, you could cut his hair, and you could he could help you.
Killing my shit, Jeff.
Type faster, Jeff.
That's obviously a real problem for everybody, but it's up there. And then That's it, really. I don't have anything else.
Yeah. Where did you record that at?
At Comedians You Should Know in Chicago.
Oh, nice.
And I recorded it in 2016.
Oh,
So,
and then you released it like a few years later.
Yeah. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it for like 2 years.
Oh,
and
wow.
Then I finally watched it. And I was like, oh, it's not that bad. Like, oh, okay. It's not that bad. I was terrified to watch it because I didn't know what I was going to say. I did 2 sets that night.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one I did like was different than the second one. And the second one is the one that I ended up putting out. And I felt like the first set was okay, but it was like, I felt like it was a little. The second set, I was like, well, I did that, so now I can just do whatever.
More relaxed, maybe.
And then I said something that even I was reminded of today that I didn't really remember saying. And I was like, oh, yeah, I did say that. Do you do that? Do you feel like – I want to ask you a question. I know you probably want to wrap this up, but I have a very question.
Yeah.
Do you feel like what you say up there you mean?
I want to. I want to say everything that I say up there. I want to have basis in truth. But there's sometimes some things that I'll exaggerate. But I think the core of it, I want to believe. If that makes sense. Maybe not all because if it's a joke, then I'm going to say something that's maybe not true just because it's comedy's like at least I think what it is like you're taking that truth and then you're playing around with it, like you're breaking you're saying something that's accurate and then playing off of that accuracy or that truth, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't know if that answers your question or not, but
well, no, this is my question is, okay, for me, it's like I would feel a certain way or think about something in a certain way or just say it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like how I was feeling in that moment. Doesn't mean like I actually.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
There's an ant on my screen. But so like for you, because I don't write things down, I guess like for you, it'd be like you feel that impulse, then you sit down and you construct something that you want to like say out of it.
Yeah, I would like to get to the point where I don't have to write everything down, but
no. I mean, when you're saying things up there, are you saying things because that's something that you want to, a belief you have, or something you want to say, or it's to be funny in the moment?
Okay, so little bit of both. Yeah, there are things that like I'll like have an idea of what all the stuff I want to talk about, but then maybe in the moment I'll just say something that like just to fuck around a little bit.
Do you have a why?
A why for
a joke?
Like a joke? Yeah. So I kind of always want to have that. I want to have like that subtext. Like what's this about? Like without saying it. Trying to like a lot of the lawyer stuff that I talk about is like
so you have like a planned why?
I think so.
The joke around the why?
No. Like if I come up with something, if I find something funny, I'll try and at least I think if it's funny to me, it'll have some sort of if I find it funny, there'll be something unsaid, but the point of the joke, like if I'm talking about being a lawyer and some of the weird stuff about being a lawyer, and this is what like Stuart Huff told me about this too, which is like, the reason that he's like, I like watching you talk about being a lawyer, and it's like you're making fun of these people, but at the same time you connect with them because you can tell that you want to help. But like, so like part of the jokes about like being a lawyer is like, I'll have this, the subtext is like, this is nuts. This is a crazy experience, but like, I still want to help these people. So that kind of like, that's kind of the point of a lot of the stuff is just like trying to, if I find it funny, then usually there's like some sort of like subtext in it that there's a point of that I'm trying to get across, I think. But if I was just off the cuff saying things, I would, I might just say something in the moment just to be funny.
Right. But I mean, would you pick, like, let's say you have a political agenda.
Okay.
Like, would you then pick the case that you talk about? Would that be like, you say you're feeling certain ways about like a racial issue or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so then would the person that you're talking about, the client, be of that race to get you, so you would tell the story, you know what I mean? To push your...
Okay. Oh, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would... I'm not super political, so I don't know. But sometimes I've like bent the truth to make it funnier. I think there's that kind of license, like everything isn't verbatim. I think I've kind of embellished the truth in some jokes.
Well, you're supposed to like heighten it, right? Because
right. But I don't know if I'm answering your question or not.
No, I mean, I'm just curious. There's no right or wrong answer. Yeah. I'm just asking how you do it, because for me, I don't put any thought into it whatsoever.
So you're just flying out of your mouth, and it doesn't, if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, whatever. Yeah.
And then, what did I say? Oh my God, that was stupid.
That's almost like you're channeling something. Like you're not even in your, girl, you kind of tapped into something. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that could be, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I know I've said things that I've regretted saying.
Yeah, I've said that.
Things that I'm proud of saying, like, wow. And I know that it's incredibly dangerous to do that in this day and age, in the way things are. It's not only dangerous, it's like insane and stupid. And it really is. It is. You have to like, right now, especially the way things are, you have to like know what you mean. You have to be willing to fucking stand and die on that hill for what you mean. And it's like, I can't possibly do what I've been doing in this climate or whatever, because I don't, you know what I mean? Like that's in it.
Yeah. It's like you have to have standards and practices, review your set before you're going to do a set at open mic.
You should. I mean, that's just the way. It's unfortunate because it's kind of, takes the fun out of comedy and being funny.
Yeah.
It's not very fun to sit there. For me, comedy is supposed to be like, you don't plan a fucking fart or a fall or whatever. That's like funny.
Right.
Right. So it's like to sit down and do fucking homework is like,
yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But I do appreciate now saying that. I'm not shitting on people that do that. I admire it. I think, I bought Jerry Seinfeld's book and I'm like, this is incredible. It's, as far as like an artifact goes, as far as like the fact that it's funny on the page, I admire that. I respect it. It's just for me, I can't do it. So I'm like, but who's not going to have a problem in today's climate? Fucking Jerry Seinfeld, because he's been thinking of Pop-Tarts for 6 years, like, got it.
Right.
But somebody like me, it's like that's a really bad idea. And I'm also wired to say the stupidest, like the worst possible shit I could say in the moment. It just comes out of my mouth. and it's like, oh no, you know, which it's good if you want to laugh, but right now it's some of the shit's not funny, and also it's like people they're not joking around.
Yeah,
they're not joking.
Right. So it's an interesting time to be doing stand up.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for doing this. I really appreciate you taking the time, and we watched a video. We we learned. We laughed.
Cried.
We cried.
We laughed. We cried.
Yeah.
Got insecure about our necks and everything. We've gone through the gamut.
So yeah, thank you so much, and let me say goodbye to everybody, and then I'll come say bye to you real quick. So thank you, Kristen Toomey, and make sure you check her out and check out the album Motherfucker, which you can get I think on iTunes, right? Is that what we said?
Yeah.
Make sure you buy it. Buy it. Don't watch it on YouTube.
I don't get that either. All right.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you watching, and I will be back at another time, and I'll find some severances and videos. But make sure you come back next Wednesday, because I'm going to have Dwayne Kennedy, Chicago comedy legend. He's super funny and was somebody that's very interesting to be able to listen to and learn from. And so thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you again sometime soon. All right. See ya.